Hello guys, my name is Oswald Situ, and in today's video I want to show you how to install a Windows 11 operating system on a virtual machine in Hyper-V. I'm going to go through to show you how to get your image file for the Windows 11 operating system. So you just go in your browser, search for download Windows 11, click on the first link here. You can check this from Microsoft directly, not just the first link, and then you can scroll through this and then you select your Windows 11 file, click on download, and then you get to click after this pops up. You select the language, English preferably, and then you go ahead to confirm, and then your download would go ahead. I have already done this and I have a copy of this already, so I'll just go ahead to show you the Windows 11 system requirements. So for you to have Windows 11, you have to just check what it requires, the basic system requirements that we need. I'm just going to skim through and we're going to look at this. We need to have a processor of about 2 or more cores, basically, and we need 4 GB of RAM, maybe more. Obviously, you could have more, then 64 bit storage space, that's ideal. And you need for system firmware, you need UEFI and secure boot. You must be able to do both. And another thing here is the TPM, that's Trusted Platform Module version 2.0. So this is the hardware based requirement. And basically this one is just a graphics card and all of that. So we're going to jump into my Hyper-V and then we're going to provision the virtual machine. So I'm just going to come here, I will click on new, click on virtual machine, and we'll go through the blades one by one to configure and provision our virtual machine. So I'm going to click on next, and we have to provide a name for this. I will just call it Windows 11 Client Computer 4, just to follow the series that I've been building here. Then this is where it's going to be stored by default, and then I can just click on next. And one of the requirements was that we have to use UEFI based firmware, and so definitely we're going to have to use generation 2 because it offers UEFI based firmware, and you can't change this afterwards. Anyways, you don't need to because Windows 11 needs this to work. It's a basic minimum requirement that you need for that to run. So click on next, and the startup memory. For startup memory, I'm just going to give it 4 GB. 4 GB like most written in the document. And I don't want to use dynamic memory for now. Anyways, let's just leave it in dynamic memory and go forward on that. Dynamic memory just means that if there is more a need for more workload and you need more RAM storage, it could draw more from your host computer. So I'm just going to leave that as is and move forward. Then let's get this connected. This blade is to connect it to a virtual switch. I'm going to connect it to the Oswald virtual switch and click on next. And here we get to create our virtual hard disk. Remember, we need minimum of 64. Let's just give it what it needs. Say 64 GB. And that's good enough for me. And I just click on next. Then install an operating system later. Install an operating system for a bootable image file. Like I said, I have mine already downloaded. So I'll just click on this and search for where it is and grab it right here, Windows 11, and open that. Click on next. Here we have a summary. You can quickly preview what our configuration settings were. You can see all of this and then click on finish. And as easy as that, we have our virtual machine created. So I'm going to go, before I start this virtual machine and begin to the out-of-box experience for this, I will just go to the settings. So remember we had things we needed to check as minimum requirements. I'm going to just show you that. The processors here, we have just one here. It's a minimum of 2 from the documentation we saw. So let's just bump this up to 2. And another thing is that we need to have TPM enabled. Now I'm going to say a little bit about this. For virtual machines, the UEFI based systems have a security framework for the secure boot and the trusted platform module. So the secure boot just works as like a guard to ensure that every bootloader, every software that you run, any operating system that you run here is the integrity is in check and it is licensed and signed by Microsoft. Then it is for other for Microsoft templates is for Microsoft operating systems as Windows operating systems. Then this one is for like you have like the likes of Linux distributions. So that's just it here, just there about. But for this, we remember they said we need to have TPM enabled. Now TPM is a security feature that works hand in hand with secure boot. Secure boot is like the guard at the door, and then the TPM is like the lock and key for your operating system. It has a configuration or encryption that keeps your data safe. So if you see what is written here, a trusted platform module is a special purpose microprocessor which provides cryptographic services to a compute platform. So basically, it just secures your data with cryptographic keys and just make sure that your data is secure on this virtual environment with TPM to make sure that no one can have access to the virtual hard disk, even if it's imported or exported from your host computer somewhere else. You need to provide your administrative credentials for you to have access to the content of that storage device. So I'm going to just click on this and turn it on. Another thing is, if I do not turn this on, when we try to run our uh, boot and run the operating system, it will go through. So I'm going to just, for that reason, I'm just going to show you that it is needed. Although Hyper-V has a way of virtualizing that feature. So let's just apply and go back to where we were. So I'm going to try to run this and let's see the process together. I'm going to make it quick. We start the operating system. Yes, and click any key and then let this begin the process. This will take a little while. Then just follow the steps one by one until you get to see the error. Like I said, it would be there is a system requirement. Without that, you can't go forward. Let's just quickly go to next, and then install. It's brand new. We're not repairing, so I agree. Everything will be deleted. That's okay. And click on next. I don't have a product key, and let's see this go forward. So I want to use Windows 11 Pro, and click on next. And checking the system because if this PC doesn't meet the minimum system requirement to install this version of Windows. So that's because TPM is not enabled. It was part of the listed requirements. So I'm going to close this and I'm going to just let this be here and just come here and come to the settings. Okay, so come to this. I can't do this because I need to shut down that virtual machine. So I'm going to just close this and come back here and ensure that it is turned off. Turn it off. Now it's turned off. I can now access the settings. So I can access the settings and just come here to secure it again and enable TPM. Apply the settings and we can give it another shot. So let's open this. I can double click or just click on connect here. Whatever choice I choose to make, it still works. Start this virtual machine. Same thing, click on any button for the process to begin. And then let's see how this works. It's going to just load up and give us the GUI. The same thing, language install English, time and currency format English. So next, USB input. Next, install this. I agree that everything will be deleted. Yes. Next, I do not have a product key, and we can go forward, checking a few things. I want Windows 11 Pro like before. Next, so you see, we've gone past that error message, so we're good to go because Hyper-V has given us a virtualized version of TPM. So you can just say, I accept this. You can do well to go through this at least once. It will help you understand what you're doing, what you're installing, and know what boundaries you have. So accept this and move forward. While this is searching. Okay, here it's here. You can see our allocated um, virtual hard disk. So it's unallotted space is this. So we're just going to click on this. It's already clicked and click on next and let the process continue. So it's going to install Windows 11 Pro and keep nothing. Just make sure you know what you're doing and I'm just going to click on install. And this will take some time. So I'm going to have a timer on to just check how long this will take. I'm going to pause this recording and come back when we've passed this phase. Okay, now we're here and this took about 29 minutes. This varies depending on the capacity of your host computer. And I must just recap that you cannot give what you do not have in terms of both properties like the RAM size and the storage. If you do not have up to that, you can't give what you don't have. Just saying that to clarify. So let's go through this out of the box configuration phase. So let's just click on yes. Then we'll just yes and skip this. Don't want another layout. Okay. So here we have let's connect you to the network. So here you can see that my computer is not connected to the internet right now, and I will need to. I wish I could bypass this right now. So since I cannot bypass it, ideally I was supposed to see and don't have internet option right here, and then I skip through. So to bypass that, just press Shift and F10, and that will bring in command prompt. Then you type in OOBE coming in OOBE backslash bypass NRO. So basically, this is out of box experience. So you should bypass or skip the network requirements override. Basically, so I'm going to click on this completed and you restart the virtual machine, and we're going to have opportunity to do that again. This time around, we'll be given the opportunity to move ahead without the internet. Let's give this some time and see this. So it's going through a restart right now, give us another chance at it. And if you check the system requirements when we started up, you can see that internet connectivity is one of those things I was mentioned. So Windows 11 Home Edition though requires this Home Edition though, but requires internet connectivity and the Microsoft account to complete device setup on first use. So I believe that's one of the reasons why we experience what we experience here. I'm going to minimize this and we do this another try. I'm going to click on this time around. I'm going to come down to Nigeria. Mhm. So Nigeria and yes, US keyboard. I don't want a second keyboard. And let's move forward. So we're back here again. And this time around, you see, I don't have internet. It's an option for us to click to go forward. So we just use the OOBE backslash bypass NRO as a way to skip the network connectivity requirement here. I don't have internet, then I can go for from here. I'm just gonna call it my name, Oswald. Next, I don't want to give the password. I'll just click on next. Set it as. So it's just going through the entire configuration process. So whenever you're installing your operating system, you have to go through this phase where you get to set up initial system settings, basically all the configurations you want to have on this uh, operating system when you run it on your hardware or virtual machine. That's what's happening right now. So I can go ahead and just, for this demo purpose, I'll just leave the settings as is and continue before the here next, and I accept. Just taking quite some time. I just have to be patient. The good thing is this happens only on first use. You don't get to do this every single time. So hi, we're getting things ready for you. This will also take some time, so I'm just going to skip through this. I'll come back when it's done. And finally, after our many clicks, we're finally here. So I'd like to play audio with this. I just go to local resources and settings. Record from this computer, play on this computer, and that's true. And connect. And that will reboot this PC, and then we can have the interface for in. We've successfully installed our Windows 11 on this virtual machine on Hyper-V. And we are here. So I want to say well done. You stayed through this long video. You're finally here. I can just make this full screen and then sign in for you to see the interface. Maybe subsequent time, subsequent login, you can set up the display, the full screen, feel it everywhere. Right now, signing into my Windows 11 home screen. So you're going to see desktop soon. Voila, desktop. So thank you guys for seeing this. Bye.